Good evening, everyone. Sarah, please call the, we'll call this meeting to order. I almost banged on my microphone, so I'm flustered for some reason. Let's all please stand and for the Pledge of Allegiance. And also, I know we've lost a few members of our community in the last month or more. Can think of at least 3, and I'm sure we have lost, unfortunately, many more over the years. So if we could just please stand for a moment of silence after the Pledge of Allegiance, it'd be appreciated. Thank you. Okay, thank you, everyone. Sarah, please call the roll call.
Mercedes Evans.
Here.
Thomas Fink. Here. Michelle Forbes.
Here.
Jennifer Hoover.
Here.
Tim Jackson. Here. Luisa Losava. Emily Smith.
Here.
Estelle Ivelsberger.
Thank you. That brings us to our first period of public comment. If anyone's wishing to make public comment, please come to the podium, offer your name and address, and please keep your remarks to 3 minutes. Thank you.
Good evening. Terry Delo. I'm with Integrated Consulting, and I'm representing a subdivision plan that's going to be in front of the Planning Commission next week. So it is in regards to 725 Vista Drive, and the developer, Jack Kennedy, is with me here this evening as well. Up on the screen this evening, what you have is a copy of our survey plan that is part of the subdivision plan. It is to take one lot that is in the low-density residential zoning district and divide it into 2 parcels. So the next page on that PDF actually shows the subdivision. So the house on the north side that you're looking at now will stay as is, no changes to that are part of the plan. And the bottom portion of the site will be developed into a future single-family home. So that's what's proposed on that lower portion of the parcel that's being developed. At this point, we're just doing the subdivision plan, so at a later date, whenever we have house plans and things like that for the subdivided parcel, we'll be coming back in with those. The developer will work through that process. Both of public water and sewer will be supplied to the lot, as well as public utilities. So it's pretty straightforward in terms of a subdivision plan and what we're proposing. Again, we'll be coming in next week to the Planning Commission meeting for official action to be requested. We are in receipt of HRG's review comments and the county review comments, and we'll be addressing those at the meeting as well. So we're basically just here tonight to get some feedback or answer any preliminary questions that you might have about the plan.
About how big would the subdivided lot be?
The subdivided lot is approximately 1.3 or 1.43 acres. The residual portion, lot 1, as we'll call it, will be 0.73 acres.
Okay.
And can you repeat the address, please?
I'm sorry?
Can you please repeat the address?
Oh, yes, 725 Vista Drive.
So this is a plan that there's no action needed by
Correct.
council, just it's an informational item that I didn't list as an informational item, but it is. So you've now gotten a sneak peek at this upcoming plan that the Planning Commission will be looking at next week. Thanks, Terry.
And,
I just have one question.
Sure.
So is the house going to go where the tennis court used to be?
essentially, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The tennis court's coming out.
Right,
It's no
right.
longer going to be there. Yes.
Right. Awesome, thanks.
Sure. Anything else? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks, Mike.
Anyone else with public comment? Okay. That brings us to President's announcements. Just wanted to first just thank those sitting up here, our members, and also our staff. We've prepared an end-of-year report to serve as just recognition of our staff's hard work and what we can accomplish while we're working together as a team over the past year. I think when you put it all in one spot, you're like, It makes everyone kind of feel grateful and thankful for everything that's been accomplished over the year. So just a few comments about that, and hopefully we'll get that on the website soon for everyone else to read that. So again, as I said, this time of year presents a wonderful opportunity for us to express our gratitude and reflect on the achievements of the past year, all made possible by the hard work of our staff and our many, many volunteers. Their dedication significantly contributes to helping us carry out our roles as Borough Council members and making our community a great place in which to live, learn, work, and play. In our end-of-year report, we highlight our progress and accomplishments in several key areas, despite facing some challenges along the way. Borough staff participated in extensive training and professional development programs. We also are working on codifying our ordinances and preparing for rental inspections to begin in January. Additionally, we have championed eco-friendly practices and sustainability while also completing key projects to improve our infrastructure. We've enhanced communication and outreach, strengthened our emergency management plans, and increased collaboration with our school district. We prioritize fiscal responsibility and transparency to ensure the best use of our taxpayer dollars. The 2024 end-of-year report, which will be available on our website, reviews these achievements and more. So please feel free to read more about these vital areas. As we look forward to the year ahead, we embrace the opportunity to build on our successes and conquer new challenges together with our dedicated staff and incredible volunteers. We thank them for their hard work and commitment, and again, I thank those who I serve on council with. And last but not least, we wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a wonderful New Year. That brings us to our next agenda item, and that is the announcement of the Volunteer of the Year Award, and I'll turn it over to Mayor Simpson.
Since 2012, Campbell Borough has recognized a resident in the borough for their contributions. This year's Volunteer of the Year winner has been serving the community of Campbell Borough for close to 20 years. He had volunteered for the Recreation Department and Soccer Club prior to being on the commission during his daughter's time playing youth basketball
We'll move on to our next agenda item. That is the announcement of recognition as a Bird Town, Pennsylvania. Michelle?
And there's. Okay. So the chair was hoping to come down today to make a presentation in person, but that has to be postponed until February. However, we did want to bring up that Camp Hill is officially a bird town. Camp Hill Bird Town was recognized as Pennsylvania's 72nd bird town community by Birdtown, PA, the PA Audubon Council, and the Appalachian Audubon Society. Birdtown works in partnership with local municipalities and like-minded organizations to promote community-based conservation actions to create a healthier, more sustainable environment for birds, wildlife, and people. I feel like we're all going to have this memorized, right? So we officially have a meeting date and time for next year. We will start meeting on the second Tuesday at 3 p.m. here at the borough office. So congratulations to everybody for making this, really thank you to everybody for making this possible. That's it.
Thank you, Michelle. That brings us to our manager's report. Sarah?
Good evening. The borough has been awarded a $50,000 grant through the State Municipal Opportunities for Retrofits and Energy Efficiency Program. It's MORE, M-O-R-E. The grant will be used to buy down the interest rate on the MORE loan, which we will apply for in 2025. The loan is intended to fund energy efficiency improvements, including the installation of a 100-kilowatt rooftop solar panel system and the replacement of exterior windows on this building. We received assistance in our application for this grant through our participation in the DEP Shared Energy Manager Program, which we became a part of as a result of us getting DEP funding to do our climate action plan. So this is a logical continuation of our project. We have also moved forward with applying for the next round of the Community Development Block Grant Program. They had an open house that I attended. We've received funds for 3 years for the construction of ADA-compliant sidewalk ramps. We do not meet income eligibility for CDBG grant funds. However, projects that promote accessibility are eligible regardless of community income. So that application is due in March, and we will be developing our location map for the ramps based on our next paving area. I've also submitted an application for recognition under the Sustainable PA program, which supports sustainable practices in municipalities around the state. It's actually spearheaded by University of Pittsburgh. Recognized municipalities receive extra credit on state grant applications. So once our application with Sustainable PA is reviewed, we will have guidance for improvement opportunities and goals to incorporate into future planning documents. The Pennsylvania Municipal League, I recently met with a representative of the Pennsylvania Municipal League to ensure that we are taking advantage of all the opportunities they offer. We can expand our membership from the Pennsylvania Labor Relations Advisory Services to full membership at no cost for the coming calendar year, so we will proceed with that in 2025. Michelle might mention this as well, but there's a volunteer fair that's being planned. The borough was talking about forming a committee to create a volunteer fair. We've been talking about that for some time, and then they were pulling it together, and they heard from someone at the school district who said, we're planning a volunteer fair. So we said, so are we. So they're joining forces, which is terrific, and they're having it on Martin Luther King Day on January 20th. I thought it was at Eisenhower Elementary. They just said it's at the high school cafeteria, so my report has an error on it, but you'll hear lots more about it, and we can give you more information at a minimum at the January council meeting. The group has invited community organizations to join the fair in order to make connections with potential volunteers. And finally, the CAP-COG annual dinner is held also on that date, January 20th, beginning at 5:30 at the Best Western in Harrisburg. All council members are invited. If you would like to attend, let me know. There is a cost depending on the number of people that want to go. So I can make your reservation for you to make sure that you have your bill paid before you get there. And that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. That brings us to our mayor's report.
Okay, thank you. Start with the police report. The report is in your packet. The police ran 749 calls in November, brings the yearly call to date total of 10,199. As you all know, we're down 2 police officers, so we have 2 positions open. We're in the process of recruiting to fill those positions. We have a testing scheduled for January 11th for interested applicants, with the deadline of being January 28th or January 8th to register for that testing. Campbell Fire Department, we ran 36 calls in November, spent 46 man-hours on those calls. I have a meeting with Scott Rhino next Tuesday to discuss the recruitment and retention grant. And I just want to thank Audrey and everybody involved with the Parade of Lights, Lab Public Works, borough staff, everybody that volunteered. And the same for Miracle on 24th. They were 2 great events, and they're just 2 events that make our community special, I think. And they were really, it was really cool. Emily, I forgot to thank you. I think you head up the Miracle on 24th. Thank you. Who's this from?
You want to announce that we're.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. We are accepting, the police department is accepting letters to Santa. So drop them off the police department?
Yes.
I
We have a
actually,
special mailbox right in front.
I have one here that we just received. This person, Shane, is looking for Eagles tickets, Sixers tickets, Star Wars, Legos. He wants a lot of those, it says. That's from Shane. So anybody, little kids, they can submit their letters. Just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, the best to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. That brings us to our engineer report.
We have had a lot of construction in Camp Hill Borough this year. A lot of projects that have been in development for a long time finally came together, and apologies to everyone for the construction and all the dust and the noise, but we really wrapped a lot of great things up. The last of which is the focus of my report tonight, which is the Camp Hill Streetscape project. The project has reached substantial completion status. There are a couple of little cleanup items that we have on a punch list for the contractor. So we don't have their final payment recommendation this month, but we have their next to final, and we have a couple of change orders to request approval to get their numbers straight for the final pay app. So I'll take those sort of one at a time. The first action item we have requested tonight for the streetscape is change order number 2 in the amount of $1,645.59 to modify the configuration of some pedestrian push buttons at the 24th Street intersection. We also have a request for approval of change order number 3, which is in the amount of negative $32,949.34 to reconcile the final quantities against the bid quantities. So if you sum those 2 numbers, subtract one from the other, you'll come to the conclusion that we finished the job under budget, about $29,000 under budget, which is great. Our last requested motion for tonight is to approve application for payment number 8 in the amount of $156,298.35 to York Excavating. And as I said, that won't be the last one. We'll probably see the last one in January. There's about $20,000 worth of punch list work left to do. That's all we have for this evening.
Thank you, Mike. That brings us to our consent agenda. Is there a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved. Second.
Emily moves, Michelle seconds. All in favor? Aye. That brings us to reports of committees and liaisons, beginning with public safety. Tim?
Yeah, so the committee met and discussed 3 primary things, the first of which Mayor touched on, just the resignations of officers Primus and Ferguson, and the department's in the process of looking to replace, the initial process of looking to replace those officers. You might have seen signs around the borough. That's one of the tactics used to create awareness of the vacancies. Secondarily, HRG presented some options for traffic control measures around the Country Club Hills. We talked primarily about speed bumps, some line painting, maybe doing a phased approach to see if we can mitigate the sometimes excessive speeds in that area. And so that work is ongoing with some subsequent recommendations due here in the new year. And then thirdly, some concern around the blocking of intersections around 31st and Market, where the traffic from the light, basically from the corner of Sunoco back, is creating some congestion around that intersection, creating some pedestrian and some traffic potential hazards. And so HRG is also taking a look at some potential options for us to consider. That's my report.
Thank you very much. Public Works, Louisa.
Okay, Public Works did not meet in December. Our next meeting is in January. But we do have 3 action items that Mike just went over. So I want to say, well, first I want to actually, unrelated, thank Mike and Lee for the excellent webinar that they put together. I missed half of it today, but I will watch the recording when it comes out. And then, so the webinar was on stormwater and MS4 and was very informative. Then I have a little question about the change order number 2. So the push button, so I'm suspecting that they will move the one in the southwest corner to where one would naturally expect it?
Let's see, this would be the southeast corner.
There is none right now.
Right, because the contractor's still waiting on the arms to get delivered. That's one of the punch list items that's still remaining. In the original design and in the PennDOT permit for the project, there were new poles that were going to mount the pedestrian push buttons. To install those new poles and to run the underground conduits between them would have required more extensive work to the sidewalk at that corner. So in working with the contractor and with PennDOT, we came up with an alternate scenario where we could mount extension arms onto the existing signal pole that's already there instead of putting in new poles.
That has like the box and everything?
Yeah, so that'll be the pole to which these new arms and the new push buttons attach. They just haven't been delivered yet.
Okay, and so on the southwest corner, there will be no changes?
No, there shouldn't be any
Because the
on the southwest one.
buttons, they suddenly move, like I come down Market and turn towards the intersection, and where is the button? And then the button is behind me.
Yeah, that would have all been part of the approved signal plan from PennDOT. I'd have to take a look again and see exactly where those ended up being located. And sometimes it's not always the most intuitive location, but until the design engineer would have got through all the PennDOT requirements, I think that's where they had to put them.
Okay.
I don't know that one exactly off the top of my head, but I could check into it.
Yeah, I just remember walking there like kind of blindly and no button.
Yeah, it's not quite where you might expect. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Moving on to Community and Business Relations.
Okay. So Community and Business Relations met on Tuesday, November 19th at 4 p.m. Tony Conti came to speak to the committee representing MSCH Holdings, LLC, and they're seeking resolutions to support RACP funding for the building at 2211 Market Street. This is the former dissolved float spa, which was previously the Masonic Lodge. The Redevelopment Assistance Capital Program, RACP, is a Commonwealth grant program administered by the Office of the Budget for design, acquisition, and construction of regional, economic, cultural, civic, recreational, and historical improvement projects. So MSCH Holdings, LLC, is attempting to purchase and renovate the property into a boutique restaurant with an event space and a liquor license. And we are continuing discussions to learn how we can best support this redevelopment in the business district. We are, as Sarah said, also partnering with the school district specifically Community Advisory Committee for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion to hold a volunteer fair at the high school cafeteria on January 20th, Martin Luther King Day. We recognize the gap between the need for volunteers from Camp Hill organizations and the interests and abilities of our community. And we hope that this will give residents and groups a place to meet up and match up. So if you have an organization and would like to be involved, please reach out to be part of the volunteer fair. And I hope everyone comes out to find more ways to connect. It should be on our website too. And we also, as Sarah said, reviewed the work that she spearheaded to help us become certified as a sustainable PA community by the Pennsylvania Municipal League and Sustainable Pittsburgh. And while it's a voluntary program, it's designed to help communities, municipalities achieve sustainability goals, which in turn will allow them to save money, conserve resources, and encourage innovation. It'll also help us in receiving grants, so the CBR is going to take the lead on completing some more of the goals. Our next meeting is Tuesday the 17th at 4 p.m. And that's everything.
Thank you, Michelle. Next, Parks and Recreation. Emily?
Thanks. Please excuse my froggy voice. Everyone that was out in the weather this weekend, I think, has some amount of froggy voice. Whether it was just cold or windy or any of the other weather we've been having recently. Yeah, so I am highlighting all of the amazing holiday festivities that we just had in the borough this weekend. We had the tree lighting along with the holiday evening stroll, which was run by the Downtown Camp Hill Association. That was on Thursday night. And despite the wind and cold weather, which impacted the ability to have music, we had about 75 people in attendance for that, which is shocking to me because it was very, very cold and windy. All enjoyed the tree lighting and went downtown for hot chocolate treats and Santa. Then on Friday and Saturday, we had the Parade of Lights for Toys for Tots in Willow Park. And we also had a trolley available for that, which I saw was actually getting pretty well used, which I was happy to see. So I think that all went well. And then, of course, Miracle on 24th Street was on Saturday. I feel like I saw many people from the borough there. Another wonderful holiday weekend in Camp Hill Borough. The Recreation Department would like to thank First Commonwealth Bank for their sponsorship of Parade of Lights for Toys for Tots. And then also the Recreation Department would like to thank the Women's Club for their contribution of $250 towards the Recreation Department. And we have one action item this evening, which is the Lion Foundation has requested for us to donate a resident rate family pool pass membership for their winter celebration silent auction. This is something that we have been doing as long as I've been on council. It's a good fundraiser for them. So that will be in the action section, and that completes my report.
Thank you, Emily. Next, Planning and Zoning. Tom?
Yes, you'll note in your packet that Colton provided a monthly report on code enforcement. He responded to 98 calls, made 379 calls, issued 43 building, zoning, shade tree, stormwater, and dumpster permits. The Planning and Zoning Committee met November 15th. We looked at, again, we're dealing with the special events ordinance, and our solicitor reviewed it, sent it back to us. We looked at it again, had some additional questions, and sent it back to him. What we're trying to do is walk a line between allowing people in the community to enjoy the community, have events, et cetera, while protecting the community and maintaining safety, et cetera. And it's kind of complicated, but we'll get there eventually, sometime in 2025. We also looked at an operations and maintenance agreement permit for 1401 Market Street, where they're installing a permeable pavement driveway behind the property. An O&M agreement is necessary because in order to maintain that kind of driveway, you have to vacuum it from time to time, and that will be an action item that we look at a little bit later. We were comfortable with that agreement. Sarah also noted that this month, I hope, we get the report back from the codification project. Right, maybe at our next meeting, we'll look at that. And then we also now take time to look at the code officer's responses to complaints and violations. So we're trying to stay on top of that. And as I've said in the past, I've been happy with the way all this is being implemented. And as a reminder, the rental inspection ordinance begins January 1st, 2025, and I'm pleased about that as well. And that's my report. Any questions? Okay. The next meeting is December 20th at 8:15 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. That brings us to Administration and Finance. Mercedes?
All right. Before I forget, we are not going to have a meeting in December. The most important part got wrapped up, which was to have a 2025 budget. We did not receive any public comment on the budget, so I just want to give you that insight. And no tax increases, so I'm glad that we're taking care of that here. The other action items I have are to consider adoption of an ordinance that's going to waive the contribution to the N1 pension plan. So it's overfunded, so that's why we've been doing this for a little while. We're also going to look at a resolution to set the 2025 fee schedule. We had a couple areas where fees went up a little bit, mostly in the pool pass section. And then we're going to look at to consider approval of the collective bargaining agreement for the Public Works Department, and to consider the earned income tax credit for the active volunteer Camp Hill firefighters as well. The other thing I wanted to bring to your attention is that in January, the committee's going to be talking about a request that came in to increase the tax collector wages. She requested a significant increase, which would be applied the following year. So I'll probably bring that to you in January. We're also looking at a couple of professional RFPs that we're going to be talking about early next year with you. And we're wrapping up the board and commission appointments for the January meeting. Any questions?
No, just also a reminder with regards to the fee schedule, in addition to the pool fees, there's also the compost fee
Yes. The
increases.
compost fees, yeah.
And that's due to changes in how we can compost that and county efforts, et cetera. So things have gotten a little costly and complicated, so.
Yep.
The openings for boards and commissions, that's on the website?
Yeah, there's just one, right? That we're trying
I
to.
thought it was Human Service Commission and
We have
what
filled
was the other one?
Yeah,
all but that one, the Human
but
Relations
Relations
Commission.
Committee?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's just one, well, I'm sorry?
Sustainability had one, too.
I actually have two contacts.
All right.
Louisa referred someone, and one of the Sustainability Committee members referred another person. And because you can have a maximum of 7 in that group, we want at least one to fill out the term, or to fill the next term so that we continue with 4. But if we could have up to 7. We do have a vacancy on the zoning hearing board, but we have a lead on that as
Yeah.
well. That's a tough seat to fill. So if that comes through, I believe we just need the Human Relations Commission, one more person. Many of the people who are currently serving as volunteers have agreed to continue for another term, and that makes everybody's life a little easier when we do these reappointments, but we're very grateful for everyone who serves.
Any other questions or comments? No? All right, thank you.
Thank you. That brings us to our liaison reports. I would believe there's no Borough School District report, correct?
That's correct, nothing to report.
Okay, I think we have an upcoming meeting at the end of January. Does that sound familiar? Okay. Turning to stormwater, any report?
Stormwater Authority did not meet in December.
Okay. Sustainability?
We did meet, and as I've said before, it's a hopping committee, so a lot was going on. We talked about the $50,000 grant that Sarah helped get. The expense for the installation of windows and solar panels is going to be substantial, I think $270,000. But as somebody who's just installed solar panels, the savings you get on your electricity is substantial. So at some point, we'll get that money back. We discussed how to motivate local businesses to consider solar. That can be a hard sell, but the savings that are possible, I think, are moving people in that direction. We talked again about the CHOOSE program, the Camp Hill Use Simulator Project, which is up and running, and people in the audience aren't aware of it. On the front page of our website in the lower left-hand corner, you can click on this link, and it'll take you to a map of the community, and you can zero in on your house and get recommendations about how you can save money and become more energy efficient. So we're encouraging people to go there and give feedback to the people who developed it. Sarah noted that we've locked in to a 3-year contract, green energy contract at a very reasonable price. And if for some reason we don't like it, we can get out of it. So, but we're very pleased with that. The group also talked about ways to advertise the options that are available to the community to pull together. There's this nonprofit Solar United Neighbors program. And if you get enough people to pull together, they can then purchase energy more cheaply. But it's a tough sell to get. I think they need 60 or 100 people to do that. So, but those ideas are being talked about. We're going to do more public education. In January, we're looking at, this is part of the Reuse, Recycle, and Re-Energize program. And we're hoping to bring in somebody from UGI to talk about their Save Smart Home Energy Upgrades program. And we talked a bit about the CCA program, Community Choice Aggregation, that we joined in with, that would allow boroughs and municipalities to join forces and, again, save money by purchasing energy more cheaply. The PUC has that, and we've not gotten any feedback yet. So those wheels are moving very, very slowly, but we're hoping that that will move forward. If they do approve it, they may just do it for the 9 municipalities that we're part of, that have joined in. So that would be exciting if that would happen. That's my report. The next meeting of the committee is tomorrow at 1 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Emily with the Downtown Camp Hill Association.
Thanks. Okay, I have a couple things to note. The farmers market is looking for a new market manager for 2025. Resumes may be sent to jhill@camphillborough.com. The farmers market, just as a reference, will start up again on May 13th, so think warm weather. Also, the Downtown Camp Hill Association has been partnering with the library to have some of the business owners within the Downtown Camp Hill Association teach roundtables at the library, and there are some coming up over the winter, so you should definitely take advantage of them. On January 23rd, let's give them something to talk about, PR and marketing for new and growing businesses. and that'll be from 6 to 7 p.m. And then on February 21st, there's going to be Mastering Employee Hiring and Retention from 1 to 2 p.m. And then on February 27th, from 5 to 6 p.m. is Business Banking and Financing. So I'm sure that there is going to be a wealth of knowledge in those, so please sign up, check those out. And lastly, if you haven't signed up for the Borough Email Digest that comes out monthly before this meeting, please go to kemphillborough.com/communications where you can sign up. It's very, very useful. It really tells you everything that's going on from all the different departments in the borough. And if you want to keep up on downtown events, you can sign up for their email newsletter at downtowncamphhill.com. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Emily. Next up, Frederickson Library Board and also CAPCOG.
Okay, Frederickson Library is having their annual holiday book tree fundraiser. So they make the tree out of books, and it's their 12th year for this tradition. You can help decorate the tree by making a donation, a minimum of $10, to the library in honor or recognition of an important person in your life or people. You could put your name, the name of a loved one or an organization, and it gets put on the spine of the book, and then everyone can see it. And I believe they're even taking pictures of it and posting it on their social media. And I also wanted to point out that they're asking if people would contact the county commissioners to let them know if the library is important to you and now they need more funding. There seems to be some confusion as to whether or not it actually needs more money, so anybody who can advocate for it, it's appreciated. And that is it for the library. CAPCOG, this is good. We met on November 18th, discussed and passed the annual budget, and they put out next year's calendar, and the next meeting is January 20th at 5:30, I believe, for the dinner. Their speaker that they usually have couldn't make it, so it was a short meeting. That's everything.
Thank you, Michelle. That brings us to our second round of public comment. If anyone's wishing to make public comment, please come to the podium, state your name and address. Hearing none, seeing none, we'll move on then to council consideration. Beginning with item 13A, is there a motion and a second to approve change order number 2 for the Market Street Streetscape project in the amount of $1,645.59 to modify the configuration of pedestrian push buttons at the 24th Street intersection? Louisa moves, Emily seconds to approve the change order number 2. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion to approve change order number 2 passes unanimously. Moving on to item 13B. Is there a motion and a second to approve change order number 3 for the Market Street Streetscape project in the amount of negative $32,949.34 to reconcile the final installed quantities against the bid values? Louisa moves, Michelle seconds to approve change order number 3. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion to approve change order number 3 passes unanimously. Moving on to item 13C. Is there a motion and a second to approve application for payment number 8 for the Market Street Streetscape project in the amount of $156,298.35 to York Excavating Company? Louisa moves, Emily seconds to approve application for payment number 8. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion to approve application for payment number 8 passes unanimously. Moving on to item 13D. Is there a motion and a second to approve the donation of a resident rate family pool membership for the Lion Foundation Winter Celebration Silent Auction? So moved. Second. Emily moves, Mercedes seconds to to approve the donation. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion to approve the donation passes unanimously. Next, is there a motion and a second to approve the stormwater operations and maintenance agreement for 1401 Market Street? Tom moves, Michelle seconds to approve the stormwater O&M agreement. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes unanimously to approve the O&M agreement. Next, is there a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 2024-06 to waive employee contributions for the N1 pension plan for 2025?
Second.
Michelle moves, Emily seconds to approve ordinance 2024-06. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes unanimously. Next, is there a motion and a second to adopt the 2025 budget?
Second.
Mercedes moves, Michelle seconds to adopt the 2025 budget. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion to adopt the 2025 budget passes unanimously. Next, item 13H, is there a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2024-15 to set the 2025 fee schedule? Mercedes moves, Michelle, I know, I've done that twice now. To approve the Resolution 2024-15. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion to approve the resolution passes unanimously. 2 more to go. Next, is there a motion and second to approve the 5-year collective bargaining agreement with the Labor's International Union of North America for the Public Works Department employees?
Second.
Mercedes moves, Michelle seconds to approve the 5-year agreement. Any discussion?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Sarah for her leadership, given that whole process and everybody else who worked on that. That was a fantastic win for everybody, and I think it was a fair agreement. So thank you.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion to approve the agreement passes unanimously. Last but not least, is there a motion and a second to approve the earned income tax credit for 5 active volunteer Camp Hill firefighters?
Second.
Mercedes moves, Emily seconds to approve the IT credit for the named firefighters. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes unanimously. That brings us to our final round of public comment.
Good evening, guys. Sherry Bowman, 498 North 25th Street. Just a couple comments. First off, thank you, everyone. Wonderful year. You guys should celebrate. I don't know. I guess we're going to celebrate after this meeting. But secondarily, this volunteer, first time MLK Volunteer Day on January 20th is a real opportunity for the borough to be in face-to-face with community members, families, kids. So we were talking about this on Monday night in our little subcommittee meeting, but I really feel like a lot of the tables will probably be manned and staffed by our borough with thinking about the different activities we have coming up in 2025. So I just encourage all the different groups, I might talk to some of you guys after this meeting, to think about what those volunteer opportunities are or might look like in 2025. Let's get some folks and some tables to talk to the community about those opportunities. I think it's really exciting. And there's a lot that we're going to build upon, but this is like the first time that we're trying to do this, so more to come. But anyway, I just wanted to comment and just say thank you to you all as well. So thank you.
David Margulis, 1714 Lincoln Drive. I'm reluctant to extend the meeting with all the time you've put in over the year, but I did want to thank you for that time and the thoughtful consideration you've given to Camp Hill issues during the past year. I don't think you hear enough of that, and I know there's a lot of appreciation throughout the community, but you know, people are busy and they don't come to meetings to express that. In particular, I appreciate your overall efforts in zoning, and, we're continuing to see development such as the apartments on South 19th Street, as well as your enforcement of the short-term rental regulations. And I wanted to extend to Borough Council members, Borough staff, volunteers, all of our volunteers, to commend them for sustaining Camp Hill's long tradition of being, as stated, can't use a better word than used by our Volunteer of the Year, a special place for the community. So thank you again and happy holidays.
Hi, Rich Mance, 2000 Princeton. It's been a while since I got up here. I have two quick notes. One is about the streetscape, and it's not about the buttons. I like the crosswalks. They are unique, and they really stand out. I was driving through, and it's like, wow, those are cool. The other thing with the events that happened recently, and one that the mayor did not mention, was Santa on the fire truck. I posted a video to social media, and my friends around the country said how cool that was, that I lived in a community that did that. And so thank you. And all of you that served, and your time is up, thanks for serving. And the people that are returning, I'll see you again in January.
Okay, that brings us to closing remarks by council. Mercedes?
I just wanted to give Julie just the biggest thank you for sorry, I don't want to make you cry or anything, for your dedication to the borough, to Parks and Rec, Community and Business Relations, to the Miracle on 24th Street, and taking that on. We're going to really miss you, and you're deeply appreciated by me and I think everybody else here. Thanks. And happy holidays.
I definitely would like to echo Mercedes' statements and say, I don't know how we're going to do it without you, Julie, but we'll try.
Right, don't be a stranger.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy New Year.
So I was going to prepare something, but I feel like after every meeting, I want to say the same thing about how much I really appreciate everybody. Like, I don't know what other places are like, but they can't be like this. Do you know what I mean? Where people just work really hard and they're not doing it for themselves, they're doing it for the community, and it just really needs very inspiring. And Julie, I'm really going to miss you. But thank you, everybody.
I don't want to spend a lot of time because we want to get out of here, but at the conclusion of my first year, I just want to say how impressed I also am with the staff all the way around. They do a terrific job. And also the amount of volunteers we have in the community, people who come in, don't get paid, and they spend all this time and so on. So it really is very encouraging, and it's quite a complex thing we got going here. And let's keep it going in 2025. So Happy New Year to everyone.
I just wanted to thank everybody for an interesting and exciting first year on council. And Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year. See you next year. Except for Julie.
I forgot to mention, you do have in front of you the notice for the meetings for next year. We will be adding to that the new Birdtown, Pennsylvania of Camp Hill schedule, which is the second Tuesday of each month at 3 o'clock. This will be advertised as required by law. We will have a legal advertisement. It's front and back, so you can see all the committee meetings as well. If anybody, last call, if you want to change your committee meetings, we need to know. And you can always change, if you don't have a quorum for a meeting, we can always move it around, but it's easier to advertise everything all at once. I also note that I gave you treats on your pile of stuff. Those are Wilbur buds from Lidditz. They're better than Hershey Kisses, I just say. You try them and you see what you think.
Hershey lived, when he moved into that area, and this company
He
was up
stole
and
it.
running,
Yeah.
and the Hershey Kiss came out later.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, yeah,
He stole it from the Wilbur buds.
yeah.
Thank you, then I didn't have to be the one to say it. And also I have treats for everyone that are related to a couple exciting events of the year. I always try to do something that's thematic. So please, everyone is welcome to join us in the back. There's chocolate, peanut butter, and vanilla. That's just a teaser. So thanks to council for a great year.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone, staff, council members, audience. We always appreciate seeing you. And for your hard work and your commitment. And as a reminder, petitions before you know it will begin. So if you or yourself or you know somebody who is interested in serving, please take note. Take note, and we look forward. We look forward to next year and beyond. So, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. Meeting adjourned.